Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of 100 Yards Football Sports Talk Radio. I'll be your host and producer this afternoon, Logan Landers. And joining me, as always, to talk about the NFL draft prospect, running back out of Wake Forest, Claiborne, the man himself. Talk about today the founder here of 100 Yards Football, Mr. Football himself, Vincent Turner. Vincent, how you doing on this Thursday afternoon here at the Peach State?
Hey man, I'm doing fantastic, man. Just like the rapper Young Thug, best friends.
Uh,
Out of
and we're
Atlanta, GA.
And we know that one of the teams in this upcoming draft is going to be best friends with Mr. Claiborne here come April. We're going to talk about him here today, what we like about him, and kind of how he's flying under the radar a little bit. So a lot to talk about this young man here today. But before we get into it, into the meat and potatoes, you guys enjoy the show. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. We go live here on the channel each and every single week, Facebook and YouTube. Also, you can go and download our podcast thanks to the Believe Podcast Network, available on all major podcast streaming platforms. All right, so Vince, I will pass the ball over to you. You can give your thoughts here on Mr. Claiborne, running back out of Wake Forest. Very impressive.
A young man's got a compact body, 5'9", 192 pounds. So that means that when you hit him, you're gonna probably have to bring the wood to him. Was a very, very nice piece in Wake Forest offense. Basically, he was Wake Forest offense. But you know what I like, Logan? I like football players, especially at the skill positions that has production. In his 4 years at Wake Forest, 2,599 yards rushing, 424 yards receiving, 28 touchdowns. But this is a stat I love about Mr. Claiborne. He had runs of 10 yards or more. He had 34 carries of 10 yards or more, 34 runs. So that means that the young man has got some really explosive ability there. Then you look at his skill set. It's all small, great running back, excellent burst, A plus. Division, A plus. I like him, Logan, because it's changed the direction, A plus. And when you watch him on tape, watch how he explodes through the hole. He doesn't waste any time. Then, as I said, we talked about just before we came up for a brief moment. His body, 5'9", 192. That means he's pretty rocked up, and that means he makes a lot of yards after contact and ended. He reminds me a lot of a Terry Metcalf back in the day. Terry Metcalf wasn't as big, but everyone knows, and I'm old school. I'm 65 years old. Terry Metcalf was a special running back for the St. Louis Cardinals back in the mid 70s. He's got a little Jerome Ford in him, who's right now with the Cleveland Browns, and he got a little bit of Blake Watson, who made the team with the Denver Broncos as an undrafted free agent last year in the 2025 draft. But I like this young man, Mr. Claiborne, and he's got value as a kick returner. Back to you, Mr. Landers.
Yeah, he's everything you need in an explosive runner, whether it be if you need him as a running back, as a starter, if you need him as a third down back, he can get you some work there. As a kick returner, he can do some great work as well. We've seen him have some electric kickoff returns. He take back to the house or for, put his team in tremendous field goal range or just range on the field. But yeah, like I said, I was going to say, oh, he's a smaller guy, but he is built. He has not skipped any leg days, any arm days in the gym. Like we see with some of these guys coming getting drafted where they might be a little bit smaller in stature, but man, they don't miss any meals and they're always putting work in the gym. And you see here with Claiborne, man, he epitomizes that. Did some great work at Wake Forest. We know Wake Forest is never, a powerhouse in ACC football landscape at this moment, but he was, like you said, they're basically their pivotal point on offense, the main guy you go to. If you need a big play, if you need a score, if you need someone to at least get some momentum, you give him the ball. You hand him off the ball, you let him do some work, and like you said, you're gonna have to get him at the legs. You're gonna have to get maybe two guys on him because he can shed tackles with some of the best guys in this year's draft, bar none, because he's got that power. He's got that elusiveness. He's got that cat-like agility and reflexes where he can change directions on you in the blink of an eye. And that is crucial in this year's draft, but also just to be in the NFL as well. You're going to have that explosiveness that you can't just be a one-trick pony. You've got to do a little bit of everything. And that's where Claiborne comes in. Like I said, really the last 2 years, junior and senior year, where his coming out parties, he can rush for touchdowns. He can get it done in the receiving game as well. They might utilize him a little bit more come the league because they said, man, this guy is such a weapon. We have to do something more with him. We have to get him installed in certain packages, and he's going to find the field one way or another. Now, he's probably going to be a guy who's going to get drafted maybe in the middle rounds, he's not going to be one of the first running backs taken. But if you're a team if you're kind of at the fringe position for running back, if you need a little bit of help in that department, maybe your rushing numbers, your average, your touchdowns in the running game were a little bit lackluster in the 2025 season for the NFL. If you need a boost, if you need a jolt, Mr. Demond Claiborne, running back out of Wake Forest, I think will provide that jolt necessary to help your team maybe get to the next level offensively. Vincent, let's get your thoughts here one more time on Demond Claiborne, running back out of Wake Forest.
Decided to come back to school, could have went into the draft last year, graduated from Wake Forest this past year, promised that to his mother. Outstanding character, you're going to get a quality football player. If you draft my man, Mr. Claiborne, running back out of Wake Forest, Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Back to you, Logan.
Yes, sir. He's a absolute monster on the field. If you haven't watched his highlight videos yet, go out there, check it out. You will be impressed for sure. And best of luck to the young man here as he continues his journey into the National Football League as he gets drafted here in 2026 here in just about 3 months here come April. Well, once again, we thank you all for tuning in today, for watching, for listening here on the show on 100 Yards Football. Of course, the founder here coming on today, once again, Mr. Football himself, Vincent Turner. Thank you for your tremendous analysis, as always, talking about Demond Claiborne, running back out of Wake Forest. I've been your host and producer this afternoon, Logan Landers. Once again, if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Facebook, YouTube. Also, go download our podcast. And don't tune away. Don't change the channel because we have some more great NFL draft prospect knowledge. We're coming up here in